Keeper of the light.
Navi's turn to ban. Alliance's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Alliances turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Navi's turn to pick. Alliance's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Bristle back!
Navi's turn to pick.
Enchantress.
Alliance's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Behold the horn of Magnus.
Navi's turn to ban. Alliance's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Alliance's turn to pick.
Life Stealer.
Navi's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Invoker.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Prepare for battle.
Mid lane, Dendi on his signature Invoker, and down on the safe lane, Seneko supporting on Disruptor. Artstyle roaming around the map on his Enchantress, and of course Ditcherar playing the safe lane Juggernaut. Over on the side of Alliance, S4 on his Magnus Bulldog, bringing it in with the Bristleback. EGM going to be clobbering some Navi with the Ogre Magi. And let's not forget Ake over on his Kotl. And last but not least, Loader. The Loader Lifestealer, something that in the past memes have been made of. But recently, Lifestealer is an incredibly relevant hero, and Loader, he's a bit of a master on it.
It's something that he's played for God knows how long. Back when Lifestealer used to be OP and Open Wounds had like a 600 or 700 cast range at level 1. That's back when I started seeing him play that hero, and that was years ago. So as you mentioned, something that is definitely within his realm of heroes. But looking at the lanes, kind of what we were expecting, it is going to be the duel off. They're going to send Ake down here with Bulldog, and it's not an easy lane to play against. Even as a Juggernaut, you're going to have to get a really early stick. You need to be concerned all the time about eating blasts and quill sprays just to overall harass. Looks like we're having a couple more headset issues. We had one of them the other day too, but more often than not, we've been pretty fortunate not to have too many technical issues arise. So.
Yeah, which is impressive as well, because we've got, what, 4 games going on?
Yeah.
Everything.
There's 8.
Everything is happening here.
There's 8 team rooms.
Yeah.
Obviously 2 for each match, and then we've had very limited issues, so we've been relatively fortunate.
Yeah, and of course worth noting as well, a lot of crazy games going on this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know what else is at your availability today, not that you want to go anywhere else, this is Navi Alliance. We know you're going to stick right here, but just in case you want to open up another window, you got OG Wings going on, TNC versus LGD, and what's the 4th game, Andy?
I don't
it's
actually...
EG versus Syndrome. That's it. EG versus
EG
Escape Gaming is the other option. So here we have it. This is the match that counts, Navi Alliance. Ready, General, starting to skip the creeps away from the top lane. Bring them out away from EGM and Loader. He's like, I'll take these creeps around. He's just looking to balance the creep wave out, making sure that he's not going to do it underneath the tower. Mid lane, Denti versus S4. Invoker versus the Magnus matchup. How do we expect to see this one go down?
I mean, eventually S4 is going to get a handful of levels. He'll be able to shockwave spam. You can see he's already skilled the level 1 in power, so he's going to have that bonus damage. It's not a matchup that the Invoker just straight up crushes, but he will stay it.
But not least this bottom lane. As you said, this potentially very potent combination of the Bristleback and the Keeper of the Light. I mean, how much issue is this going to cause for Ditcherar? Or do you expect to see the Jug still being able to farm relatively well with the backup of Seneco's Disruptor?
He should be able to get some farms still. It's not an ideal lane. And you can see, like, Bulldog's even trying to zone them away from the side shot because he knows that Ditcherar wants to buy a stick. in this lane against Bristle, like, he's positioning himself so aggressively to prevent them from getting to that shot, make him use the courier, take it away from the mid player, just any sort of advantage you can get. But in overall lane, I don't think the Ditcher will ever die, but he might be pressured in his farm.
Good night. No!
And is there a way that you kind of tailor your build to this aggression if you're the Jug? Do we see earlier points being maxed out on the healing ward?
Yeah, he'll probably have to get ward.
Yeah.
But he did make it to the side shop. Arstock came down here and bullied him on a lane, so now they're going to have their magic sticks available. And that's more or less the thing that hurts Bristleback the most, because he might be able to do a bit of damage. And speaking of damage, General, in this top lane.
EGM and Loader trying to go for a hit, General. Now he gets himself off the map, and now moving back in potentially. There's a fair few stacks up on the members of Alliance, EGM and Loader. But General indeed himself a little bit too low to play around too much. Comes back in for an ignite.
Bottom lane, Bulldog.
Okay, they've trapped him out as Alto comes in with a rotation. Ditcher up late fearing is the face of the Bristleback, and there we have first blood. The Navi.
Don't be mad.
They punished the Bristleback thanks to an excellent rotation from Artstyle coming into the lane, which certainly was seeming to be the hardest for Navi in this early game.
Oh, those were perfect creeps as well. He had a troll and he had a centaur. So as soon as a glimpse comes in, you get ensnared, then you get centaur stomped, and on top of his spin, you're just dead. And that's why we were saying during the draft, it might be better to just put the Juggernaut in the safe lane instead of going mid, because it offers you that kind of damage to where you can kill a Bristleback. Because normally he's just too tanky to deal with. But now with the addition of having that spin damage in the early game, you can just go for him, no problem.
Of course, losing lives on this bottom lane is something that Alliance don't want to be doing. 11 for 1 on Bulldog compared to the 8 for 4. He's still got the edge over Girard, but can't afford to be giving kills across to the carry of Navi. General, he's backed away from the top lane, level 2 now, as he'll just throw out some of the stacks in the jungle, play it a little bit safer. As we already saw, it's can be a little bit risky from up on that top lane if EGM and Loader decide to make a move in on the Batrider. And Artstyle, he's ready to keep the ball rolling. He's looking for another bit of action. Smoked up with the Centaur and the Troll Summoner. Looking to wrap around mid lane, see if he gets round from the high ground behind S4. S4 rather far down the lane at the moment.
They're going to try to force a skewer out of S4, but the problem is the timing is not so good because the rune's spawning. So instead of S4 like taking damage from Dandy, like a cold snap or whatever, and forcing a skewer, he just walks to the rune. So maybe a bit of a poorly timed rotation there, but they will be able to at least get some damage.
Also will go on EGM. Cold could have been used on S4. There'll be a glimpse back onto S4, but he skewers out. Now, with General's presence as well, they should be able to find the EGM kill, using the Firefly to run him down. Navi find themselves a second. They don't get the kill on S4, but they do still get a kill nonetheless. Navi, at this point in the game, just making a lot happen. And Artstyle, of course, as expected, doing his wonders and making the magic happen on the Enchantress.
Yeah, he's got the 100% kill contribution, but that's what you're looking for. At some point in the game, he like takes his foot off the gas and he decides to go back for either the Dragon Lance or the Midas and starts to farm a bit more. And Navi kind of loved that early game aggression into, okay, we have map control, now we're going to farm a bit and make sure that his Enchantress can still carry us in the late game just by sheer damage output. So it's typical Navi things.
And Navi do need to continue to make this happen, because if you do look at the two carries, Ditcher versus Loader, it's not close at all.
Okay.
There we go, Navi. They found themselves another freebie indeed, as Ake caught out on the entrance to the jungle. Top lane Loader going in onto General. The Firefly, so he should be able to play around this. But yeah, looking at Loader get 36 for 8 compared to Ditcher's 20 for 4. Obviously, because of the pressure the Alliance have been applying to this Juggernaut, it is allowing Loader to get far ahead in terms of farm. One of them, there's a glimpse onto Bulldog, Seneko, and Ditcher moving in. Artstyle's coming across as well, does have a trap. Bulldog will try and buy himself some time, duking it down in the jungle, but Dendy's Sunstrike is there, and Dendy will get himself the kill.
I'm actually surprised Bulldog wasn't carrying a Kiki there. Like, he bought one before he died.
Oh, EGM. This is not your half of the map, sir.
He is in there.
And themselves a free tier 2. Alliance are coming across as a 5-man.
Dire's top tower
Also the
is
ready.
under attack.
See if they can actually
Top
catch
tower
any of
has
Navi
fallen.
as Navi already start to retreat.
They just lost 2 towers and only traded it for 1. Not really the best movement so far from Alliance. Maybe they were just thinking that Navi might react to them instead.
Loda.
He should be fine. I mean, it's really hard to kill this hero.
It is. Navi, they are smoked up, hanging around. See if they can catch any stragglers from Alliance that come out alone. But Alliance keeping together as a team. And Navi realizing that they're back up. There's still a tier 1 to take mid. So they'll focus their attentions towards that.
I mean, the important thing to note here for Navi is they're still not feeling super comfortable in their position. Again, 1 good RP can still turn the game. So they're looking to just try to establish as much map control as they can to prevent that wombo combo from ever happening. Because if it does, you're losing pretty much every hero that's caught in that RP.
Alliance moving across. General. He's on the front lines at the moment. Loda will get himself nice and deep inside S4. Smoked up.
It's where everyone wants to be on.
Absolutely, especially when he's playing his Magnus. Gonna go for the wraparound. See what they can find in the jungle of Navi. At the moment, I mean, Ditcherar is alone, and they're actually gonna make a movement towards
he is dead.
Good pick, no messing around. RP into the Loda
Worst
wombo.
of my kind.
Alliance quickly dispersed of the Juggernaut.
That wasn't even with a power. Like, that was just a regular RP.
And EGM gives it the old clapper TP. As Navi try and beat down in the mid lane, nothing to stop it. But Navi unable to find the kill in return, and indeed Alliance with a big pick off.
Yeah, this is the one thing that a lot of people forget about playing against a Mag is the carry that you're playing with just gets a free Battle Fury. And honestly, it's more cleave than a Battle Fury once you get the Empower to levels 4 and
Dire's
or 3 and 4.
middle
So
tower is under attack.
over time, like Loda, even if he's spending a little bit of time invested into S4, he's still going to be outfarmed.
S4, talked about the man, has hung around in Navi's jungle, and General and Snake have put him out. Oh, S4 forces himself, dodging the Sunstrike. He's going to be on the retreat now. It's going to be a question whether he can get away. He skewers out, but the glimpse back is there. S4 controlled up and taken down. At the same time, though, mid lane Alliance utilizing this time to go in hard. They found Denzi. They'll also find Dart Style. So S4, the end of the day, it was all just but a bit of a bait, and Alliance with the favourable trade and a tier 1 down in the mid lane as well.
Radiant's middle tower.
And this is why you watch the El Clasico, right? The Navi Alliance games, because they're always back and forth. It doesn't matter like what iteration of the team it is, it's always a close game. And this is no exception, so enjoying it so far. S4 with the favorable trade, like you mentioned, he didn't even have RP regardless, so it's not like he was going to be able to contribute anything to a team fight in the next couple of seconds. And now Alliance, eyes set on Roshan. Just going to move it up a little bit. They do have Crystal back, so it should die relatively fast.
So they can do anything about this Navi. They've got a Sunstrike. They'll know what's up. But Roshan indeed falling far too quickly for Navi to react to an Alliance. They'll be able to claim themselves the Aegis. Loda puts it in his pocket. They'll smoke up and make a move towards mid. Can they get a kind of catch? RP is there, S4. RP finds the opening that he needs. Multicasted. Oh, on the high ground. Seneko comes down with me. Sunny Jim. EGM clear with the 1-2 bombs. Seneko, they'll try and glimpse back one, but he can't glimpse back the whole team. Alliance striking back hard as they pressure down the mid lane. You may have seen them give up a free tier 2 up top, but now it'll be them taking the tier 2 for Navi. No disruptor for this defense. And with the damage of the Empower, this tower's going to fall.
And Navi are doing the right thing, though. They realize that fighting into Alliance's 5-man when you're not actually trying to defend a tier 3 is not the play. It's just too risky. You need better positioning. Force Staff's now done on General, so he can now get a hero and actually pull it inside of the base instead of having to worry about how he's going to escape after he blinks in initially. Because before, S4 was like, all right, I'm going to RP you instead under the tower so you can't run out. But that Force Staff is going to have huge implications for how aggressive Navi can play and their ability to find picks. But I was going to mention Navi's draft. They are trying to split push it up a bit, but Ditcheraz's farm, like even though his CS isn't really that far behind what Loda has, just the difference that it makes by having this map control and getting the team fights, getting the Roshan, he's got like almost a full item in progression over the Juggernaut at this point in the game. So it's looking kind of scary. Navi adopting the split push game. There is still, I guess it's only really one initiation hero on Alliance, and that's S4. So they can probably split up the map for a while, buy some time, get Ditchura, you know, his Yasha finished if he wants to go for the Manta Diffusal, if he wants to go for the Blink. But they need some items.
And at this point, I mean, is it a case of Navi wanting to wait for Alliance to come to them?
I think that...
You're fighting into a load of Aegis and a newly completed Desolator.
Yeah, if you see that they're split and you see them farming multiple lanes, then you absolutely try to go for a pick, and that's what General's looking for right now. The problem is, he needs another hero, and it looks like Dendi is going to be his partner in crime here.
Or as well, there we have it onto Ditchura.
Jesus. There's just nothing, like, if you get smoke RP'd, there's nothing you can do about it. You're just dead.
I even had an Invis rune as well there, Magnus.
Oh, that was an invis, it wasn't a smoke.
There was no chance that he was getting spotted out.
Yeah, but the problem that Navi are running into is that even if an RP is committed on one hero, it's not like they can just go take a fight. They still have to wait for an opportunity. They have to wait for Alliance to show on the map and be split and use their wards to their advantage. But the issue is their ward coverage is only really around the river, whereas Alliance have a much more spread, aggressive type of vision. So that's kind of what you want when you know that you have the map control. And unfortunately for Navi, the vision that they have is only really telling them that Alliance are on their side of the map, but that's not enough. You know, they still can't take an engagement based off that information.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Indeed, Alliance take a tower. And the line has been drawn. They want to just finish out all of these outer towers first. Is the tier 2 next on the menu. Creepwave is beginning to push in. Dendi's the lone man up on the top lane at the moment. I'm sure they realise that Alliance is making a move over. No RP for S4. Still on cooldown. So unlikely that he himself could control Dendi up. We'll just jump forward, clear out the wave, and start to get this push going on. As Navi are left to clear out the other lanes. Also big item pickup, of course, for the Keeper of the Light. 22 minutes in. Ake has his Aghanim Scepter complete.
Yeah, Ags with the Quelling and the Gems. So this is pretty much a day stalker, if you want to think of it that way, because you can just deward everything. You get the vision. The thing about this hero in particular, once he has Aghanims, is his sustain is unparalleled. Illuminate heals everyone that it hits. You have chakra, you can summon people back. This hero is like the epitome of sustained siege. That's what you want to do, no matter what. If you can hit the tower and get out okay, without getting like lassoed into the well, you can just keep going forever, pretty much.
But as you said, Navi continue to do exactly what you mentioned earlier. They're playing the style with Ditchura consistently pushing out the bottom lane. Dendi keeps making an appearance up top as Alliance are just trooping on the spine. But you're going to see the strength of this push from Alliance. It's going to take down the tier 3 and they get a Rax as well. Watch S4 has the RP available on the side if Navi jump in. Alliance looking to refuel. We'll see how heavy they want to come back in with the next creep wave. Have they got any big items coming out? What's on the courier? It is the Sanj completion for Bulldog, as he himself is starting to become a real bit of a beefy man. Vanguard, Mech, and Sanj.
I want to say he's going for Halberd for the Inch, because there is a Dragonlance and a Force Death on our style. So this is the point where Navi's lineup actually starts to become a tiny bit more scary, because you know, you have that bonus attack range with Impetus, you're chunking the Lifestealer, magic immunity doesn't help versus the damage that he deals. So they need an item that's going to stop Artstyle from just straight up hitting at all. We are going to see a smoke here. It was not scouted by the works.
Let's see what kind of jump they can get now.
They want S4. He is like the best target to go on, like bar none.
But look at the movement from Alliance immediately, keeping themselves out of harm's way. They head to the south, Loader's alone up top, but already he's brought over as well. So Alliance, they're back grouped up as 5, and Navi, it's going to be very hard for them to get the jump in that they need. Dendi leading the way at the moment, but Alliance, they will be ready to react. And Navi, realizing that they can't find that opening, they've just had to back up and push the waves out as Alliance are able to avoid the gank.
You know, actually, they might have seen, not necessarily that smoke, but they could have seen like the outer edge of the smoke because the ward sees a little bit into the base. So there is actually a chance that Alliance saw that, but I mean, they just reacted so fast that it seems like they did see. You know what I mean? Like normally in like 10, 15 seconds, maybe you don't see them for a while and they're like, oh, maybe they smoked, let's back up. They were just like, nope, we're back. So there is the possibility that that second ward top did spot it, but Alliance still feeling in a fairly dominant position at this point, and he's actually not going Halberd. He's just going to finish the SOY. Interesting. I thought that he would go for the effective HP build and just have something to counter Artstyle's item progression, but I guess they're just not worried about it because it is daytime. You can just sustain with Illuminate forever. Heals for like, what, 5 seconds or something like that?
Oh, General, quick to jump, bringing Bulldog straight into the base. Alliance slow, then moving on outcome, but keep him alive. S4 does have that RP available. He's not going to blow the Omni stash on Bulldog, but Alliance, they're still alive, and the sustain from Ake's Illuminate is too much. Impetus not going to be enough to bring Bulldog down. S4 at the moment just spamming out the empowers. He hasn't needed to arm yet, but Alliance, they're fine. The heals again from Ake, allowing them to stand their ground. Loader trying to move in, won't find a lock on Turning Hero, turns back towards the barracks. Navi are slowing them down for the timing. Now the clips onto Loader. Impetus coming in, but again the heal from Ake. Loader jumps in and out of Bulldog, and he's fine. They'll finish off the melee racks, get the range racks as well. The push is successful, and Navi just can't stop this power.
El Lasso needs to guarantee a kill. That's how they stop the siege. And the problem is they went on, like, arguably the tankiest hero on the team, maybe barring Loda. And like you were mentioning, the Illuminates are just keeping them way too healthy. There's not enough damage that can be dealt. Like, Itera doesn't even have his Lasso, or excuse me, the Navi slash.
General jumps in, but he's been multicast. S4 with the skewer forward. Itera will play through, trying to finish off EGM, but they're just so tanky. The sustain is too much. And Bulldog, he's just sitting on the front lines, hitting the racks. Now he'll look towards Dendi. Navi being forced back into their base. As Alliance have all the space in the world to finish off another set of racks here. 2 heroes down on Navi, and it's all very quickly falling apart. And GG indeed, Alliance. There we have it. S4 finishing his star with the 3-man RP, hitting them so hard that Seneco's DC. Oh wow. Navi, they had a strong start, but Alliance's draft, Loader's Lifestealer got all the farm in the world at the start. We said at the beginning that this is a hero that he is incredibly proficient on. And I mean, that 22 minutes Aghanims on the Keeper of the Light was pretty crucial for those high ground pushes. Ake just sat at the back giving heals out for days.
Yeah, that was dirty. Without the Coddle Ags, they would have actually died there.